And there are the ladies of the PWHL. They've arrived in Vancouver, and of course, you can always expect them to have the best swag. As we see one of the greatest hockey players of all time, Marie-Philippe Poulin, rocking that black blazer. You can't go wrong in all black, I swear. And Toronto Sceptres, they've rolled in as well as they head to their locker rooms. Sarah Nurse rocking that beige. Absolutely love that. And welcome to Rogers Arena in Vancouver, BC, the second stop of the PWHL Tour, of course, and lots of festivities over the last couple of days here in Vancouver, from open practices, autograph sessions, and of course, even a youth clinic. The PWHL definitely making their impact here in Vancouver, but it didn't start here in Vancouver. It actually started in Seattle on Sunday, where the Montreal Victoire had a very interesting game against Boston Fleet. And this one, Montreal got off to a great start, scored 2 in the first period, but Boston came trekking back and they sent this one into overtime. It needed the shootout, but Boston got it done 3-2. And Montreal now definitely looking to pick up another win because they were on a little bit of a run. They had won 4 straight before dropping this one in Seattle. And of course, there's Jennifer Gardner, Surrey BC's very own, playing locally. Marie-Philippe Poulin, loving that Victoire logo. Who wouldn't? Those jerseys are incredible. And Anne-Renee Desbiens had quite the game in Boston. I'm sure she's hoping for another one here. And as the Toronto Sceptres get set here, Hannah Miller, another local. She's excited to get going here in Vancouver as well. And of course, Sarah Nurse. We've got a great one here for you in Vancouver at Rogers Arena. And these two teams, as you know, Montreal and Toronto, the rivalry never gets old. And there is one between these two teams in the PWHL. Now, these teams have played each other 6 times. This is the 7th meeting. Toronto won the first 5. Montreal won their last meeting in overtime. And so we're getting set to see a great game here in Vancouver. But to get you even more set for that, let's get you over to Jamie and Becky.
Yeah, thank you, Chantel. I'm Jamie Hirsch, so happy to have 4-time Olympian Becky Keller, who happens to have very fond memories of Olympic Games in this very building. We just came from Seattle, as Chantel mentioned, and we had the highest attendance of the season so far. Tonight's crowd is expected to shatter that. Women's hockey is back in Vancouver, and this place is going to be electric.
Well, women's hockey back in Vancouver. They were here in 2010, like you talked about. Great memories for us Canadians.
Well.
And they were here in 2020 as well. It's about time they're back in this building.
Yes, and so with that, let's get you to your players to watch tonight, presented by Woody Creek Distillers. Who's got your attention?
Well, Laura Stacey, and this is a player that has been so dynamic for this Montreal team. She's been a killer against Toronto. She was also tasked with getting this power play back on track. They moved her from the flank to the net front, and she delivered in their game against Boston. Net front, taking away the eyes, finds that puck, puts it in the back of the net. You can expect her to be a presence and be net front again here tonight. And for Toronto, Daryl Watts, and this is a player with so much skill. We saw that in the first game of the season. She got herself on the board. She is a dynamic player as well. 7 shots last game, could not find the back of the net. She had 10 goals last year. So put that in perspective. That's the same number of goals as Marie-Philippe Poulin. You know she can be dangerous. She's reunited with Nurse and Daniel. I think that's going to be a line you need to watch out for.
Absolutely. We will keep an eye on them for sure. Time now to look at your FanDuel favorites for tonight's game. These are the 5 players most likely to score a goal. Sarah Nurse has 3 goals and 6 points in 7 games to lead the way for Toronto. Meanwhile, Montreal's Marie-Philippe Poulin is off to a slow start with just 2 goals and a helper in 7 games so far. So we'll see if she breaks out tonight. She's still getting plenty of shots, though, averaging more than 3 per game. When we come back, it's just about time to drop the puck on the second stop of the TakeOver Tour. We'll be right back for the anthem and player introductions, and a great game in store between the Toronto Sceptres and the Montreal Victoire from Vancouver.
getting started. Finger on trigger with aim on a target. I'm shooting my shot, yeah. It's right on no money, no discount, no bargain. Hearing them calling. The clock is ticking, we cannot be stalling. We pulling no harder. And one shot, one chance, I gotta go all in. You know what it is, I gotta get it. You know what it is, I wanna win it. You know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it is, I gotta get it. You know what it is, we gotta win it. You know what it is. You know what it is. Game time check, game time we. Game time check, game time we on. Gotta stay up, way up. It's coming back when a rematch. First time won't be last. It's the beginning, we just got started. 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 It's the beginning, we just got. It's the beginning, we just got started.
So now we'll do it for real. Starting in nets tonight, Debbie! Right D, Barnesy! Left D, Wilkes! Right wing, Stace! Center, Poop! And the hometown hero! Give it up for guards! Let's go!
The starting lineup is brought to you by Scotiabank, proud to be the official bank of the PWHL. Let's go down to the ice and check in with PA announcer Al Murdoch to meet tonight's starters.
Starting in goal, number 35, and Renee Debian. On defense, number 5, Anna Wilgren. Also on defense, number 3, Kayla Barnes. The forwards from Surrey, British Columbia, number 12, Jennifer Gardner. Number 7, Laura Stacy. And number 29, Marie-Philippe Poulin. And now, make some noise as we meet tonight's starting lineup for Toronto. Starting in goal, number 50, Kristen Campbell. On defense, number 5, Savannah Harmon. Also on defense, number 14, Renata Fast. The forwards, number 27, Emma Malte. Number 16, Haley Skamura. And number 40, Blair Turnbull. Vancouver, let's hear it one more time from the Montréal Victoire and the Toronto Sceptres. Now, please rise if you are able, remove your hats and join Elizabeth Irving in the singing of O Canada.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Car ton bras se porte le pays il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Give it up one more time for Elizabeth Irving. Tonight, we shine a spotlight on the incredible women who are breaking barriers, redefining athleticism, and inspiring future generations. These two athletes show us what it means to be leaders, competitors, and role models, pushing the boundaries of what is possible and making their mark in their respective sports. Tonight, we welcome Canadian women's national team player Shannon Weller and your Vancouver Rise FC's first signing in the new professional women's soccer league in Canada, the Northern Super League, kicking off in April. And a standout player for Canada's Rugby Sevens team, known for her speed, strength, and determination. Please give a warm welcome to Piper Logan. She's an Olympic silver medalist and one of Canada's brightest rugby stars. Joining Shannon and Piper at center ice is Montreal captain Marie-Philippe Poulin and Toronto captain Blair Turnbull. Thank you, Marie-Philippe and Blair, and a very special thank you to Shannon and Piper.
And what a moment to kick off this all-Canadian matchup, the second stop on this 9-city takeover tour the PWHL is holding across North America. And we can't wait to see what tonight's action has in store. Let's take a look at the starting goaltenders. And Renee Desbiens, Canadians very familiar with her, of course. She is your gold medal winning goaltender, probably the likely starter in goal for Canada when they play not only in this year's World Championship, but the Olympic Games next year as well. And at the other side of the ice, we take a look at Kristen Campbell, who's getting her first start in goal since December 18th at New York. We heard the coach say before the game that she was going to start no matter what. She's had some time off, and she knows that she needs to be better than what we've seen from her so far. She looks to be locked in here tonight. And we shall see. Go ahead.
Marie-Philippe Poulin, and what memories she has of this rink, and what memories Canadians have of her scoring both goals in a 2-0 Olympic final win. And really the legend of Marie-Philippe Poulin started on this ice. Captain Clutch, her first Olympic finals, and then she went on to a tremendous career, a career that is still obviously happening. But look what she's done. Now, if you don't know the legend, there it is. 2 goals in Vancouver in a 2-0 win, 2 in Sochi, a goal in Pyeongchang, and 2 in Beijing. That's 3 Olympic gold medals, and that's 3 game-winning goals in the Olympic final. Incredible.
In fact, she is the only player ever to score a goal in 4 Olympic gold medal games. No doubt about it, she will be enshrined in the Hockey Hall of Fame one day, but for now she's focused on one thing and one thing alone, and it's getting a big win for her team to launch them back into first place. Minnesota and Boston also in action, and Minnesota has actually just beaten the Fleet in overtime to take over sole possession of first place for now. But we're about to drop the puck here, and Montreal will have something to say about that. You see the 2 captains, teammates on the Canadian national team, Blair Turnbull and Marie-Philippe Poulin. They will go head-to-head tonight. And that's about what we expect, right? Troy Ryan saying, yeah, if Marie's on the ice, Blair Turnbull's going to be not far behind.
and she loves that role and that responsibility to be that shutdown player. Poulin knows she's going to step on the ice. She's going to see an awful lot of Blair Turnbull tonight.
Here we go, takeover tour part 2, and Turnbull and Poulin all the way onto the ice now. My goodness.
Well, the battle starts right at the drop of the puck.
Two fierce competitors already underway with their ferocity. Here we go. Into the Toronto end, Montreal trying to take over. Instead, it's Turnbull coming in with speed, gains the zone for the Sceptres. Try to center, blocked by Kayla Barnes. And Harman's shot, deflected and disrupted. It's the local girl, Jennifer Gardner, gaining the zone now for the Victoire.
Nothing like getting the crowd into it quickly with the local player.
Erin Ambrose tried the shot, it was blocked on the way. We'll talk much more about Jennifer Gardner throughout the night, but this is an extra special game for her. Mariah Keppel looking for a tip. It banks off the end boards. Turnbull tried to play it back. They jam away along the boards. One of the new Sceptres, Savannah Harman, had it stripped away. Kristen O'Neill sends it back up high for Ambrose. Ambrose tries a shot, fought off, and an early save for Kristen Campbell on a bouncing puck.
Oh, there's where Ambrose is so good. Just head up and finds the lane, puts that shot on net. It creates a dangerous opportunity. It was something that looks like it should be harmless.
If you're a goalie that hasn't played in about a month, you probably want to feel the puck pretty early on. Seemed to handle that well.
Well, she did, and she had to see it through traffic too. So every stop is going to give her some confidence to get her back to playing the way she can play.
Claire Dalton lost the puck momentarily. Here come the Sceptres. Now they turn it up the other direction. Michaela Grant-Mentis in for the Victoire. And back and forth we go. Up high for Katie Tabin. Tabin takes a shot, bounces off a Scepter's stick and into the corner.
Well, this is a Montreal team that looks like they're ready to compete. One of the things Corey Chevry had said is they're a very detail-oriented team. She didn't necessarily like their compete level last game. She thought it could be better, getting on pucks, pressuring pucks quicker. They look like they're doing that already to start this game. As
Chantel mentioned in the open of this game, Montreal had the 2-0 lead after one period. Now DeGeorge will send it in for the Victoire. Dubois back in the lineup after serving a suspension last game. Has it taken away. Back comes Savannah Harman. Yeah, that 2-0 lead. Daryl Watts streaking in toward the net. Rebound chance, wide open! And Izzy Daniel couldn't catch up to the loose puck in time to get a shot off.
Well, and that's what we expected from this line, is that they were going to generate offense. They were going to be dangerous every time they get out there. They get a good scoring chance right away.
Campbell back to play it over to her teammates. Here's Sarah Nurse leading the charge for the Sceptres. She'll send it in on goal, fought off by Davienne, and Nurse goes for a change. Blair Turnbull will send it back for Allie Monroe. Stretch pass intercepted at the red line. Right back comes Gardner. Gardner. Again, Jennifer Gardner, the product of Surrey, BC, as Marie-Philippe Poulin hands it off, and a shot again, save, rebound chance, another save for Campbell.
On this line reunited, and they look good as well, and you know that they got a lot of tension on them. They got the Turnbull line on them. They're still able to generate that chance from point blank right in the slot. Laura Stacey.
Good looks on both ends of the ice to start this game.
Well, from the lines that you would suspect.
Kristen O'Neill now gains his own for the Victoire. Hands it off to Abby Boreen. She's been on fire lately. Taken down, no call. And the Sceptres turn it the other direction. You hear the communication from ice level. That's something both coaches must love so far to this point. Maureen in once more. She takes a shot right into the glove of Campbell.
Well, you talked about the communication, and that's key in a game like this, especially when the crowd gets into it. A crowd this big can be so loud, so the fact that we can hear them up here is important. We've seen some scoring chances either way, and again, the lines you'd suspect, and look at Daryl Watts stick that leg out to protect the puck. The rebound comes out front, just bounces over Daniel's stick off the back door, and then Poulin to Stacy. Again, those two players, when they're on the ice, they read where each other is going to be, and that's a nice pass to your trailing player.
Izzy Daniel racing to catch up to the loose puck. Anna Wilgren was there to disrupt it. Yeah, Poulin and Stacy have spent the bulk of their PWHL career playing on the same line. Corey Chevry actually decided to split them up last game, trying to spark something. Grant Mentis in all alone, takes a shot and scores! Grant Mentis with her second of the season, and the Victoire strike first.
Well, and this is one of the things Grant Mentis has been doing really well lately, which is leaving the zone quickly, getting in behind the opposition's defender. She does just that. She gets the puck and she gets rewarded. And this is just a quick up. You can see her waiting in the weeds. She takes off up ice, and then she is in all alone. Makes no mistake on the blocker side. Just a beautiful shot. And she was playing fourth line minutes, bumped up to the third line. She's been very noticeable in the last couple of games, just doing the little things well, battling well. You've seen that already here tonight.
What a journey it's been for her so far. Remember, she played 6 games with PWHL Ottawa last year, ended up getting released and then signed with Montreal. Was a good enough fit with Montreal that they decided to re-sign her again this year.
And that's just it. Sometimes where you don't fit into one roster, you fit in the other. She was a healthy scratch for a number of games in Ottawa as well, and she's been a great addition to this Montreal team.
Spent several years in the PHF before the PWHL was in existence. Fun fact, her dad actually played ball hockey for Team Canada. Renata Fast slings it around, and Savannah Harmon a drive that didn't miss by much. Another chance, and Davian is teeing up.
Blair Turnbull with that shoot from anywhere mentality fires that puck on net, and that one was dangerous. There's some good zone time and a good response for Toronto to move this puck around. Savannah Harmon head up, puts that one on net. Again, that one, there's some traffic. That can be dangerous. Blair Turnbull just turns and fires. Sometimes you catch that goalie just cheating off the post, or they haven't quite got there yet.
Back up to Harmon. Harmon brings it around the boards, down low. Poulin hands it off to Stacy. Tried to go back for Poulin. Instead, it's turned over, and now the Sceptres have it. Gardner tried to clear the zone. Instead, Skamura sends it back deep.
That's great positioning for Skamura. She's up high. She's reloaded high. Great position to put that puck back in the zone.
Here comes Poulin and Stacy. And if you're Kristen Campbell, you're saying, I think I'm going to freeze this puck right about now.
That's a pretty wise decision when they're barreling in on you. And for them, that's the kind of pressure you want to put the goaltender under. She's either going to release the puck and you get a chance, or she's going to freeze it and you get that face-off that you want. Montreal comes back out with their second line too, and then you look at Kristen O'Neill, and she's been operating around the 70% mark in the face-off dot.
Dominant to say the least, and wins another draw. Back to Anna Wilgren. She slings it across the blue line to her partner Kayla Barnes. All rookie top D pairing for Montreal, although Corey Chevry saying earlier, it's hard to consider Kayla Barnes a rookie with the kind of experience she has on her resume.
Oh yeah, the international experience, the U18, the senior national team, the Olympic experience. I mean, it's a long list.
So many gold medals won by so many of the women here on the ice tonight. Kayla Barnes sends it over to Wilgren now. They'll try to break out. Now Ljungblom. Over to LaBelle. Ljungblom gets it back. Crunched along the boards by Jessie Comfort. Hannah Miller also jamming away. Miller, I should say, a local girl herself.
Good representation, Vancouver, BC.
You floated the question earlier as to which team this crowd could be cheering for most. It's hard to say.
Well, it is. There's Vancouver BC players either way.
And there's a shot. Trouble in front. A couple of rebound chances. The puck is still loose. And a break for Desbiens and the Victoire.
Well, and that's what you want when you get down into some of your lower lines, and that was Neuberova driving the net, centering the fourth line, putting some pressure on Desbiens, and she had some struggles handling that puck. Just a little heads up shoot and then drive the net, and you've got blue jerseys crashing. Desbiens can't quite get a glove on it. Neuberova fires that puck. Connors comes in, Neuberova goes right back to the net front to battle.
Noemi Neuberova is one of the new additions to the Sceptres team. She certainly made an impact in the early going here. Savannah Harmon, the newest addition, along with Haley Skamura. Now Renata Fast joining the rush here. Fast rings it around the boards, back to Harmon. Harmon tried to send it through the crease, looking for a tip, nobody home.
And there again is Toronto shooting from anywhere. Renata Fast on the goal line with that sharp angle shot just to see if they can create something.
Mariah Keppel tries a stretch pass for Grant Mentis. Both players will head to the bench for a change as Montreal reloads. Now Sarah Nurse leading the charge for the Sceptres. Poulin catching up to her, disrupts her play. Nurse gets it back. Now Daryl Watts will gain the zone.
There's that poise and confidence on the line, Daryl Watts, to make that move and then make the play.
Sarah Nurse down low, look for Daniel in the slot. Couldn't get all of it. Poulin, Stacy's in all alone, it's a 2-on-0, she shoots, and a save for Campbell. What an opportunity.
Like, you talk about poise and confidence. You watch Poulin take her time, wait, and make that pass.
They caught the Sceptres sleeping. I'm sure Troy Ryan loves to see his goalie handling that with ease. Centering pass in front. O'Neill had it. Blocked on the way. Now Tabin gloves it down to hold the zone. Ljungblom centering to Boreen, and her shot hit a body in front. Finally, the Sceptres able to clear the zone for now. Montreal going for a change.
Well, they're just looking to relieve the pressure, and fortunately Montreal changed its opportunity to get the puck down the ice.
And we are going to get a whistle. You saw right there, Skamura was taken down hard.
So first power play opportunity of the game for Toronto. Power play that has been pretty good, and it's Skamura, like you said, that was taken down.
We'll sort it out when we get back, but it's 1-0 Montreal.
Dara Gregg to the penalty box on a trip. She took down Haley Skamura in the neutral zone, and so Toronto's going to get a chance on the power play. And with this new rule, this is a situation where they could really capitalize Montreal not with the players that they would normally want to start with on the ice.
Right.
You're looking at a fourth line shift. Now, Kristen O'Neill was out, so that's helpful.
Yeah, it's called the no escape rule this year in the PWHL. This power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel, paper towel, power through tough messes. Turnbull. First shot goes wide of the net and off the end boards. They'll jam away. Toronto, middle of the pack in terms of the league's power play efficiency, came in ranked third best at 23.5%. Harmon over to Turnbull, back to Harmon. Turnbull gets it back, cross-ice pass, Nurse shot, kicked aside by Debian. Another cross-ice pass, Malte finding her, and Harmon's blast blocked by O'Neill. Harmon able to hold the zone for the Sceptres. Some good crisp passing here on the power play so far. Malte winds up and just missed.
I like the puck movement from this unit. They win the draw, they take advantage of a group that wouldn't necessarily be on the ice if you had your choice. They cross-seam pass a few times, just a little slow to get that shot off after the cross-seam pass.
Izzy Daniel now gains the zone for the Sceptres. Power play number 2 on the ice for Toronto. Sarah Nurse tried to center, nobody home, and here comes Marie-Philippe Poulin. Sends it deep, and she'll go to the chain. She's gassed. Claire Dalton trying to buy some time. Toronto reloads, and it's Daryl Watts in with speed, gains the zone, sends it into the corner. Looked like it deflected off of Victoire's stick. Renata fast, finds Daniel. Daniel walking in, didn't get all of it on the shot. Daryl Watts lost a hold of the puck, and here comes Montreal once again. LaBelle over to Greg. Good kill for the Victoire. Toronto had its looks, but nothing doing, and we stay 1-0.
Well, just a little slow to pull the trigger a few times on that second unit as well. They took the real estate given, took a little too much, and couldn't get the shots off.
What a chance for Gardner. Fighting off a couple of Sceptres. Feeds it over to Campbell. Gardner winds up, and I think Campbell got a piece of it. If not, Gardner didn't miss by much. Keppel holds his own for Montreal, and that one goes wide.
Leave the stick. Good job,
Jennifer Gardner. Certainly plenty to play for in any case, but especially tonight. The native of Surrey, BC. She said she couldn't even put a number if she had to guess how many friends and family she had in the stands. But we do know that her hockey association, her minor hockey association, is here in its entirety. That is 650 people, Becky.
That's a pretty impressive figure, and you gotta love the support. And you never know how a player's gonna play when they get that kind of support, but she looks like she's got some wheels under her tonight, and she's going.
Today is an unofficial hockey holiday here in Vancouver. All the girls' hockey teams have decided to black out their practices or any games that they had previously planned, because this is that big of a deal to this city.
And I just love that. Get as many of these kids out as you can. Let them see hockey at the absolute highest level. See some of their national team heroes. It's not that often that you get a chance to watch a Marie-Philippe Poulin play in person if you live on the West Coast, and not something you want to miss out on.
That's true. And Gardner said that on the West Coast, they kind of feel left out of the hockey world sometimes. So she said this game is for all the West Coast girls who love hockey.
There's a lot of them. We've seen them on the ice here tonight. Chloe Primerano with the U18 team, a budding superstar that I got to think you're going to see in this league as well, and she's from North Vancouver.
Yeah, it's not for a lack of love of the game out here. Certainly a passion, and that's why you see such a healthy crowd here tonight at Rogers Arena, home of the Vancouver Canucks, normally making way for the women here tonight. Anna Wilgren stops up, takes it behind her own net, and reloads for the Victoire. Fabienne calmly plays it. Grant Mentis trying to help break out of the Victoire zone, and eventually O'Neill will do so. She'll flip it in and go for a change. Dalton trying to find that loose puck.
And I like that play. Flip it to an open space and create that battle.
Here's LaBelle. Went wide and behind the net. Settled down by Keppel. There, Dalton. Looking to center. Nobody home. Keppel again holds his own. Bounced off a skate and wide. Daryl Watts banks it off the boards and tries to give chase. Turnover in the neutral zone. Here's Gosling. Shoots and right into the breadbasket of Anne-Renee Desbiens, who calmly handles it. 1-0 Montreal. Will be right back from Vancouver here at Rogers Arena as the TakeOver Tour continues.
Here's to the bold, the determined. More than athletes, they're icons, warriors, opponents of the status quo. Proving that dreams are realized through dedication and come alive on the ice. This is a call to empower, to unite, and to celebrate the bold in all their glory. It's time to own the ice. Are you ready?
Jennifer Gardner back on home soil here in Vancouver. Played for a couple of minor hockey teams here, the Falcons, the Greater Vancouver Comets, and she's repping those jerseys. She's got all sorts of fans in the stands. Love these old pictures of her.
That.
Growing up, playing in the area. So much support from the minor hockey teams, and you know, so great to see someone local who makes it.
Yes.
It's a lot of inspiration to those young players.
Yeah, she also played for the U18 Greater Vancouver Comets, who are also in attendance today as Desbiens fights off that shot. You know, Gardner was actually the last player cut from Team Canada at the World Championships this year. They weren't sure if Poulin was going to be healthy enough to play, and if not, Gardner would have been on that gold medal winning team.
So she's just that close.
Right.
And she's young, and so there's all sorts of time and to get yourself back into that program. Obviously right now with this league, that's a big showcase for the players that are going to make their national teams, ultimately the Olympic team next season.
Gardner's parents, Tom and Diane. So proud, I'm sure, somewhere here. You know she'll do just about anything to try to score a goal, but it's a fine line. You also want to make sure you're taking care of business and those details Corey Chevry was talking about.
Yeah, it's the details of the game. You want to play the right way first.
Both sides go for a partial change. The Sceptres able to clear the zone, settled down by Tabin. O'Neill sends it right back in for the Victoire. 3.5 to go here in the opening frame. An early goal by Michaela Grant Mentis is the difference to this point.
You know, we go back to talking about Jennifer Gardner, and she's got familiarity as well with her head coach in Corey Chevry, coached her at the U18 level. little bit.
1-0 Montreal. We will be right back from Rogers Arena in Vancouver.
And action.
Welcome back to the Takeover Tour from Rogers Arena in Vancouver. Before the game, we showed you the FanDuel favorites, the 5 women most likely to score tonight. So far, none of them have lit the lamp, but there is still plenty of time. We've got 2 periods and change, so keep it right here.
Marie-Philippe Poulin with no points in the last 2 games.
She's due?
I think she's due.
Move it, move it, move it. No
They
whistle,
jam
no
away
whistle.
right at center ice. Boreen coming away with the puck. She'll slide it across to Shelbin. Shelbin rings it around the boards now for the Victoire. Under 3 minutes to go. Battle along the boards, and O'Neill got tripped up. We will get another power play opportunity for the Victoire.
A power play that's gotten back on track in the last game, and this is Abby Boreen, and what a shift she just had. Wins battle on the wall, does everything she can to stay on side.
Toronto, 18, minor penalty, tripping.
And then draws a penalty. That's a very good shift for her. You watch Boreen come in, goes to pick up this puck, and she gets taken down. And this is a power play we've talked endlessly about their struggles, but finally got back on the board against Boston. It's got to give them a ton of confidence.
Yeah, they had gone over 19 before last game. There's a quick shot from Poulin. Found traffic in front. A stick is broken. It's Laura Stacey's, and she'll head right to the bench and try to get another. Poulin over to Youngbo. Now Barnes. Back to Poulin. Poulin's shot disrupted by Allie Monroe.
Laura Stacey quickly to the bench, grabs a stick and gets right back in the play.
Marie-Philippe Poulin now trying to start another rush here for the Victoire. Laura Stacey was a power play goal scorer in their previous game against Boston. Takeover tour stop number 1 that just happened Sunday in Seattle.
Well, moved down to net front. She's 5'10", so it's awfully hard for a goaltender to see around her. She takes away their eyes. She's strong in front, and you could see that on that play where she broke her stick, that she was a menace in front of the net.
Abby Boreen is at the hot hand lately. She gains the zone now for the Victoire. Ambrose slings it across for Tabin. Back to Ambrose. Top of the slot, takes a shot, finds bodies in front. Izzy Daniel fling it in off her backhand to clear it for the Sceptres.
And you watch that power play unit, your second unit, and you've got 2 players parked in front of the net. Erin Ambrose, who is so proficient at getting shots through, just firing to see if she can get something going in front. I like that.
Boreen found Dubois. The crowd wanted another call as Dubois was taken down. Could have been a slash, but instead, they play on. Remember, it was a 5-on-3 that allowed Boston to get back in the game against Montreal on Sunday. Kristen O'Neill's shot banked off Abby Boreen, but then deflected wide.
That's nice patience from Malte to turn that puck back, find the other side of the ice before firing it down the ice.
Power play is over, just the one shot for the Victoire on their first power play opportunity of the game. Renata Fast try to send it in for the Sceptres. We're in the final 30 seconds of this first period. Fast settles it down, sends it over to Harmon. Harmon off the boards. Daryl Watts couldn't handle the pass. Wilgren now turning it up for Grant Mentis. She'll send it deep. Final 10 seconds to go, and we'll get a whistle.
She just didn't quite have the red line. I don't think that's exactly what she was looking for there. You get down into the last 9 seconds, you just want to put that puck down deep into the corner. The thought process was there to get the red, cross corner, dump it. Officials deemed that she just wasn't quite there. So this gives Toronto a chance off of this face-off to see if they can come up with anything.
Daryl Watts. She tried to center. No one there to catch up to the loose puck. Harmon races to hold the zone and will not. The horn sounds on period 1. And it's a 1-0 lead for the Montreal Victoire.
On exactly where you would expect to be when these two teams play. They always play each other tight. Love the face-off play that Toronto ran at the end, executed it. We've seen that before to give themselves a chance to tie it up here. But exactly, again, like where these two teams would expect to be. A 1-goal game, a fairly evenly played game, and a battle.
Plenty in store for the intermission, so don't go anywhere. It's the Sceptres and the Victoire. They've been busy the last couple of days, bringing hockey back to the West Coast. Takeover Tour stop number 2 in Vancouver. Stay with us here on the PWHL.
Welcome back to Rogers Arena. Montreal leads Toronto 1-0 after 20. I'm here joined alongside Jennifer Gardner a local product. Jennifer, before we get into the game, you've got a lot of friends and family in the stands. Tell me about the atmosphere that you felt tonight.
Yeah, I can hear them from here. It's pretty special to have everyone who's been in my village growing up playing and supporting my hockey career in this building tonight, and to do it with the Montreal Victoire, a very special team. It's just super exciting. I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
Obviously, there's some other local players here as well that you know pretty well. What's that like, seeing them on the ice as well?
Yeah, I think it's special for the entire province of BC, just for all the little girls out there who are watching, and they inspire all of us as well every day to continue living our dream. And so, yeah, it's a pretty special future for female hockey.
There's still a game to focus on, though. You guys are up 1-0 right now. Your thoughts on how you guys played in the first period?
Yeah, I think we came out strong, stuck to our game plan, had a good forecheck, and we just got to keep it up for the next 2 periods.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Well, that was one of the local players here from BC, and Toronto has a couple of local BC players on their squad as well. Let's take a deeper look at the Toronto Sceptres.
How excited are you to come back to your home province and play in front of your friends and family?
Yeah, obviously I'm super excited to come back to BC and play in Vancouver. Have a lot of friends and family in the stands, and they don't often get a chance to see me play, so it means a lot, and just super excited.
Really looking forward to it. Got a pretty big crowd out there, and you know, I played a lot of years of hockey here in Vancouver especially, so I'm looking forward to, you know, kind of showcasing the PWHL in front of those friends and family. This opportunity, it's really special. It means a lot. I think, you know, the PWHL is obviously out east, and so I think bringing it to the west is huge, and it's amazing to showcase to, you know, the U Sports teams out here like UBC, for example. And so, you know, there are a few of us that did play U Sports, so there is obviously that avenue afterwards. So hopefully there will be more players in the future from U Sports that get these opportunities, but I think that'll take time, and I think it's great that we have, you know, the PWHL going to all sorts of different neutral sites just to continue to grow the game and hopefully see that impact the U Sports side.
I think it's an incredible opportunity for me, but the league as well, and our team to kind of showcase our game out here on the West Coast. I think there's going to be a lot of people in the stands tonight that maybe haven't got a chance to see our product live, so we're looking to put on a good show for them.
Yeah, and the local BC products, of course, love playing here at Rogers Arena in their home time. Montreal leads Toronto 1-0 after the first period. You're watching the PWHL.
The PWHL Takeover Tour rolls on to the Mile High City Sunday, January 12th at Ball Arena, as Marie-Philippe Poulin and the Montreal Victoire face off against Grace Zumwinkle and the Walter Cup champs, Minnesota Frost. Don't miss hockey's biggest tour of the year. Tickets available now at thepwhl.com.
Welcome back to Vancouver. The PWHL Takeover Tour is making its way to the Mile High City, where Marie-Philippe Poulin and the Montreal Victoire will face off against Kendall Coyne-Schofield and the Minnesota Frost at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. The PWHL Takeover Tour features 9 stops across North America. Get your tickets and witness the PWHL like you've never seen it before. Learn more and join the tour at thepwhl.com/tickets. And the Montreal Victoire getting set for Minnesota at Denver, and that's obviously, of course, a part of the Takeover Tour as well. They'll be taking on Minnesota again on January 17th, and then they take on Ottawa twice, once at Quebec City, and also they'll be taking on Toronto in a rematch at the end of the month. So pretty busy schedule there for Montreal. And of course, there was a game earlier today, so let's get you over to Clay Matvick and Alexis Pearson.
Clay Matvick, Alexis Pearson here on a Wednesday night in St. Paul. Another close game by Boston and Minnesota. Third game decided by 1 goal, and for the second time in 6 days, Minnesota wins in overtime.
Well, Boston's got to be feeling a little tired. 3 straight overtime or shootout games, and this time they come out on the losing side of it, back-to-back overtime losses against the Minnesota Frost, and 2 different goal scorers for Minnesota in overtime this last week. This time it's Taylor Heisey with her second of the season, rips it home past Emma Soderberg, right under the arm blocker side, and you can see the Selly from the bench feeling good about the overtime victory. And how good does Taylor Heisey have to feel finally getting back in the scoring column? Hasn't been feeling well the last couple of weeks, along with many other players on this Minnesota Frost roster, and most of her points this season have been assists, but she finds a way to get that second goal of the season, and it's a big one.
Yeah, number 2 on the year for Taylor. Maddie Rooney, one of the Frost players who's been sick for the better part of a week. She's back in action tonight in net and did an outstanding job. Some big saves, too, in the overtime.
Yeah, she backed up Lucy Morgan in that last matchup against the New York Sirens, even though she was under the weather, and today she gets the start feeling much better today and gets the chance in between the pipes. Only 1 loss so far on the season, and again, playing a really good Boston Fleet team who's looking to climb the standings, coming off that shootout win. And Boston tested her early. They got the quick goal from Hannah Bilka, and then a second goal scored by Shane Maloney that was overturned for goaltender interference, and Maddie Rooney continued to battle through all of that. Even though she got shaken up a little bit early, she stood tall the rest of the way out and gave her team a chance to win this one. And Taylor Heisey said in the post-game interview, you know, when you've got a goaltender like that in between the pipes, you don't worry about what's going on behind you. You just keep your eyes on the net in front of you.
This long road trip for Boston continues. They're going to be at Ottawa on Saturday, finally back home on the 22nd against Toronto, but it's been a long road trip for the Fleet. Meanwhile, Minnesota in action in Denver Sunday against Montreal. That should be a good matchup. We're going to be there for a part of the Takeover Tour, Alexis, and those teams right at the top of the PWHL standings.
Well, I'm excited to see how the standings look at the end of the week. Minnesota gets the win today. Montreal in action the same night that Minnesota plays here, and then they get to face off in Denver. So should be a fun finish to the week as we see how the standings get shaken up a little bit.
2-1 in overtime. Minnesota wins it. For Alexis Pearson, I'm Clay Matvick. So long.
My Team, My Sign, presented by Canadian Tire, proud founding partner of the PWHL. Montreal leads Toronto 1-0 after the first period. We'll have more from you here from Rogers Arena in Vancouver. You're watching the PWHL.
Here's to the bold, the determined, the ones who lace up their skates and put on the mask. More than athletes, they're icons, warriors, opponents of the status quo. They skate with grit and grace, shoot with purpose, and compete with heart. They embrace the ice, where every earned drop of sweat tells a story, a badge of honor from every challenge conquered. Proving that dreams are realized through dedication and come alive on the ice. This is a call to empower, to unite, and to celebrate the bold in all their glory. It's time to own the ice. Are you ready?
Welcome back to Vancouver. Rogers Arena, the typical home of the Vancouver Canucks, tonight has made way for the women, and we've got the Montreal Victoire with a 1-0 lead over the Toronto Sceptres. I'm Jamie Hirsch alongside Becky Keller. Just the one goal that was really the true highlight of this game, but it came kind of from an unlikely source, right? Michaela Grant-Mentis making the most of her minutes.
Yeah, and this Montreal team has got secondary scoring throughout the season. I love this goal from Michaela Grant-Mentis, and I've liked her game over the last couple of games. She gets in behind the Toronto defenders, and she buries this one. When she gets in tight, she has good finish. That's a nice low blocker to beat Kristen Campbell and give her team a 1-0 lead. You see she's pretty pumped up in front of this big crowd.
And why not? It's her second of the season, and it is the difference in this game to this point. In a period that really had both sides kind of evenly matched and feeling each other out a bit. Some physicality as well. Each side had a power play opportunity, but I wouldn't say either team really has a true edge after 20.
No, I wouldn't say so either. And again, it's exactly where you would expect these teams to be. Pretty evenly matched. Both teams are within striking distance for sure. Some physicality, you're absolutely right, though. And you know, these two teams line up, and you know it's going to be a rivalry. You get out here in front of Vancouver crowd, it's a packed house, and a little bit of bumping, a little bit of pushing and shoving. A lot more to give in this game, though. I would say you're right, a little feeling out process.
Well, let's go down and hear from Coach Troy Ryan. He's with Chantel.
Coach, your team is down 1-0 after the first period. What was your message to them in the locker room?
I think we just got to do a better job using the middle on our breakouts, and I thought Montreal did a good job getting pucks deep, and we got to learn from their success in that area.
Yeah, Montreal led the shot differential. In terms of what you need to see from your club to get more pucks on net.
I think right now Montreal's getting sticks on almost every one of our plays, so we got to rush up our decisions a little bit, make some cleaner plays to get out of our zone.
Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, more shots on net is exactly right, because right now they've just got 6 compared to Montreal's 9. And there is so much star power on each of these two teams. So now that we've played one period, they've figured each other out. Should be interesting to see what the second frame has in store.
Well, and I think he's right, too, with the clean exits. It's been something that has been difficult for Toronto at points this season, and I think a lot of offense is going to come from that. They get out of their zone clean. If they can get through the neutral zone with speed, they're going to start to create even more offense.
A healthy crowd here at Rogers Arena. You can see on the Jumbotron, they've been showing all kinds of different youth hockey organizations, plenty of girls in attendance. I'm sure some boys hockey teams are here too, right? Everybody watches women's sports these days. But it is kind of an official, I mentioned this earlier, like an unofficial hockey holiday here in Vancouver, because the youth hockey organizations have agreed to a hockey blackout where they are not going to have girls hockey practices or games, because they'd rather come see the pros in action themselves. A chance for Emma Malte right in the crease. Damien is down. Chaos in front. And fortunately for the Victoire, they're able to break out. And how about this chance for Gardner? Tried to center, she had Stacy streaking toward the net. But a good defensive play by Renata Fast disrupts it.
And this seems to be the way Montreal plays, that they give something up on one end and they get away with it. They go down the other end and get a good chance.
Now Ambrose tried to send one toward the net. Kristen O'Neill creates a turnover. Comes out of the zone, and Mariah Keppel will skate it back. Kristen Campbell tries to ring it around the boards now. Malte, cross ice pass. Here comes Haley Skamura, takes a shot, fought off by Davian. The rebound is still loose. Davian got it with the glove, but didn't hold it. And if I'm honest, she's looked a bit shaky at times with that glove.
We've seen that a lot so far tonight. Pucks that have hit the glove and dropped back out. So if you're Toronto, you got to take note of that.
Izzy Daniel trying to fight her way to the puck. It ends up into the corner. Daryl Watts back to Sarah Nurse, centering pass. Unable to connect with Daniel. Comes out to center ice. There's Daniel once more, trying to get it ahead to Daryl Watts. Toronto trying to really get its season back on track. They have just 2 wins in their first 7 games of the season. And remember, this is the team that rattled off 11 straight wins last year in the inaugural season, ended up with a 1 seed. It's Grant Mentis again on the forecheck, trying to create something. You mentioned it earlier, but Grant Mentis has been very good these last couple games.
Well, and I like her on the forecheck because she gets in, she's got a heavy presence, she gets in quick, and she's tenacious.
And here she creates a nice possession for the Victoire. Centering pass in front, they score! On a beautiful feed, makes it 2-0 Montreal.
And there's a hard work goal. And we're just talking about her, about Grant Mentis and the work that she does. She gets in, she's on the forecheck, she disrupts, she creates the turnover, and then she realizes that she's got someone out front to put that puck to. And some really great work on the wall. Look at that little shoulder check she takes. Another little shoulder check, fires that puck out front. And those plays aren't by accident. That's a heads-up play. She takes 2 checks over her shoulder to see where her line mates are, puts that puck tape to tape.
Grant Mentis exploding onto the scene for this Victoire team lately, has a goal and an assist. Claire Dalton made no mistake. Remember, she scored the first ever PWHL Montreal goal in her professional debut. And now has Montreal up 2-0 here in the takeover tour.
Well, this is a Montreal team that you know how much emphasis is put on shutting down Poulin, shutting down their top 2 lines. And so that's where the focus is for most teams. That frees up a 3rd line like that. If you can get that secondary scoring, it's just absolutely huge for them.
Corey Chevry had told us before the game in Seattle that all the underlying statistics are showing that her team is about to break out in a big way offensively. They had a 2-0 lead in that Seattle game, now a 2-0 lead here tonight. And this time they'll try to hold on to it.
And they don't give up a ton of goals too, so they're a team that when they get a lead, it's very tough to break through.
Toronto trying to answer quickly before things spin out of control. The crowd coming to life in a big way as they announce the goal scorer, Claire Dalton. I think they're just cheering for good hockey tonight.
I think so, and you've seen some of the signs in the crowd. They want a team, they wish there was one here, so you're right, they just want to see good hockey. But you can hear the cheers when certain players get the puck. Definitely there's the superstars.
Dubois with a turnover, it's Turnbull, in all alone, saved by Davian! What a chance for the Sceptres captain. Renata Fast trying to keep this alive. Her shot wide and off the end boards. Picked up by Harmon. Now Emma Malte. Cross ice for Fast. Fast. A great chance from the point. It was Haley Skamura. Toronto has certainly sprung to life here.
This is just a great shift, and you now got a tired group from Montreal on the ice.
Fortunately for the Victoire, Kayla Barnes able to skate it out, and they'll go for a full change. But it's icing.
Well, once again, doesn't quite get the red line, and so this group of players is going to have to come back out onto the ice. Toronto with a beautiful chance, and Blair Turnbull walks in all alone, takes advantage of a turnover, just can't find the 5-hole on Anne-Renee Desbiens. You see she's just trying to open that up. Little open of the stick, pull to the backhand, tries to slide it underneath her. Desbiens stays with it.
So they'll come back into the Victoire zone. By the way, shots this period so far, 6-1 in favor of Toronto. So Troy Ryan's team certainly took his message to heart that we want more shots on net.
Yeah, and this is a team that shoots from anywhere, but I've liked their zone time and their possession so far this period.
Sarah Gregg tries to skate it out for Montreal, taken down on the way. Quickly the Sceptres turn it up, trying to make something happen in transition. It's Sarah Nurse looking to make a move around Gardner. Erin Ambrose fighting for possession. Rankala had it taken away. Here's Laura Stacey, has Poulin with her. Stacey sends it deep in. Lost an edge, and Gardner able to get it back. That pass bounced off the skate of Sarah Nurse and out to the neutral zone. 5.5 gone here in the middle frame. It's a 2-0 lead now for the Montreal Victoire. Marie-Philippe Poulin has Erin Ambrose off her backhand. She fed Stacey right in front. Couldn't get a clean shot. Hannah Miller now, another local girl. That pass picked up by Comfer. Comfer going behind the net, looking for a lane. Banks it off the boards over to Harmon. Slides it over to Fast, and that hit a body in front. Fast, over to Harmon. Harmon back now for Fast. Great passing here for the Sceptres. They've got some tired skaters though, and they'll go for a partial change.
And this is where Toronto needs to take advantage. They've had, again, some good zone time. They're not finding a way to the net, but they do have tired defense on the ice.
Lead pass for Kristen O'Neill, now Ljungblom. Ljungblom crunched along the boards, but able to ring it around for her teammate. Here comes Renata Fast. Tried to feed Turnbull. Turnover right at the blue line. Instead, it's LaBelle. LaBelle gets to Dalton.
That LaBelle to Dalton pass was just on the backhand. Otherwise, they would have been in business with another scoring chance.
And a heavy hit laid by Kayla Barnes. My goodness, the physicality ramping up here in the middle frame. That shot from distance, deflected wide off a stick. Grant Mentis back onto the ice, has a goal and a helper already tonight. Barnes will send it deep. Campbell calmly plays it over to her teammate Emma Malte. Cut off by Poulin. Poulin working in. Poulin hands off to Ambrose, and they hit traffic right in front of the rebound. They score! Marie-Philippe Poulin, Captain Clutch, has done it again in Vancouver.
Well, there's a goal only Poulin could score from her knees, and the play starts with her on a nice feed to Ambrose. She starts the play and she's able to finish it off too. You know this is exactly what this crowd wants to see, is their star player get on the board. Poulin picks this puck up, comes into the zone, takes a look, finds Ambrose on her forehand, and then turns from her knees. Fires that puck into the net.
Oh my goodness.
What a beauty.
That has to be on every highlight show in North America. Incredible goal for a generational talent.
The athleticism to do that. She's falling and her body weight is carrying her backwards.
Now Sarah Nurse trying to answer, has it on her backhand, makes a move and just sent it wide. But she's tripped up on the way, and it looks like we will get a power play for the Sceptres.
A great response from Sarah Nurse to take this puck, use her speed, drive it wide, and try to get something going for her team down 3-0.
What a goal!
Our number 2 from Montreal, 2 minutes for tripping.
We're tougher together, like a rising tide. A collective spirit of grit and guile. An ocean of emerald green resolve. We're unrelenting, undeniable, unstoppable. Honoring the builders and heroes who came before us. Now we bring our fight to the ice. To overwhelm and overpower, we unleash our might, as always, as one. We're tougher together, like a rising tide. A collective spirit of grit and guile. An ocean of emerald green resolve. We're unrelenting, undeniable, unstoppable. Honoring the builders and heroes who came before us. Now we bring our fight to the ice. To overwhelm and overpower, we unleash our might, as always, as one.
Lead. However, an opportunity here for Toronto to try to get back into this game on the advantage.
Yeah, and this is one of those things where you're telling yourself, you just got to pick away one at a time. There's lots of time, just under 12 minutes left in the second period, so there is time to stage a comeback. It's tough for a team, though, that has really been struggling with offense this year.
Right. This power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Daryl Watts able to hold the zone now for Toronto. Slings it over to Fast. Hands off for Miller. And the crowd erupting in cheers as they announce Poulin as the goal scorer. Rightfully so, as they just witnessed greatness firsthand. That shot trickles in, and Toronto's on the board! Daryl Watts giving the Sceptres life on the power play. 3-1.
Well, we just said they have to pick away, and that's the start. Now there is a lot of time to stage this comeback. Daryl Watts, another player that was due to get herself on the board. 10 goals last year. She only had 1 this year. Now you watch the patience. She comes in, she waits, she fakes, she takes that little step to the middle, changes the angle of the shot, makes it more difficult for the goalie, and it's that subtle little change of angle that allows her to beat Anne-Renee Desbiens. Beautiful goal.
And just like that, Toronto has life. Sarah Nurse trying to win the faceoff. It goes back instead in the Montreal zone. Renata Fast rings it around the boards deep, and Desbiens comes out to play it. Now Izzy Daniel We'll ring it around for Sarah Nurse. She tried to feed Watts, streaking again toward the net. Just out of her reach. And back comes Grant Mentis. Already a goal and a helper here today. All alone! And what a chance for LaBelle, who just sent it over the cage.
This line is having a great game. Grant Mentis, once again, that's a beautiful feed, but a little miscue for Toronto defensively to allow LaBelle to get in all alone.
Poulin sends it back for Tabin. Stacy tips it in. And we do have a pretty evenly matched crowd in terms of who they're cheering for, because they just announced Daryl Watts now as the goal scorer. Plenty of people cheering here. And why not, especially with a healthy Canadian crowd. There's so many Canadian stars on both of these teams. Poulin in the zone once more. Crunched along the boards, ended in a turnover, and Malte now in with speed. Allie Monroe just caught up to that to keep it in the zone.
That one looked like it may have gotten out. Officials disagree. Malte threw that one with a little more mustard than she intended.
Now Skamura gains the zone for the Sceptres. Comper making the move, so Skamura tried to feed her right in front. And Malte sends one. Banks off the skate. Toronto showing life and desperately trying to get even closer. That bouncing puck just went wide. And Malte now. Neubauer over on. Comper settling it down in the corner, goes up high. Lauren Bernard, cross. Hannah Miller tried it on the short side. It was sealed off by Dabian. Emma Woods crunched along the boards by Katie Tabin. She takes it away.
I'll tell you what, Dabian needs to be on her toes, because once again, Toronto is shooting that puck absolutely from anywhere.
Here's a chance for Hannah Miller, the local girl! Pad save Dabian. Neubauer over. And her shot didn't miss by much. A good shift for the Sceptres. Marie-Philippe Poulin scored a goal to make it 3-0, and just 41 seconds later, Daryl Watts answered with a power play goal for the Sceptres.
Well, this looks like this is going to be a Toronto penalty, which is really unfortunate for Toronto given the momentum swing that they had.
Toronto 61, minor penalty, tripping.
Go penalty box.
We'll sort it out on the other side. Toronto is on the board, but Montreal still leads by 2.
February 25th, 2010, a 10-year-old Daryl Watts is in attendance at the Olympic gold medal game, face-painted Canadian flag in hand, and now she's the one on the ice, scoring a beauty goal to get her team back in striking distance.
And isn't that what it's all about? giving young girls an example, right? Somebody to cheer for, someone to look up to and try to be like one day, so that some of these girls in attendance here tonight can one day envision themselves playing in the PWHL.
Well, and that's exactly what you hope, is that there's someone in the stands here today in every one of these takeover games that ultimately becomes this person on the ice.
What a career Daryl Watts has had even to this point. Remember, she was the first ever to win the Patty Kazmaier as a freshman when she did so at Boston College back in 2018. Ended up transferring to Wisconsin, where she won an NCAA title. And now a professional hockey player, scoring on the big stage.
We've really seen her skill this season. Great penalty kill right now for Toronto. Montreal has not been able to get in or get set up at all.
I'm sure Troy Ryan will like that too, because their penalty kill actually ranks dead last right now in the PWHL. Entered the night with an efficiency of just 66.7% on the PK.
We've asked him about that a couple of times, and
Ambrose was tripped up, but no call there.
Toronto just got away with one.
40 seconds to go in the penalty. Izzy Daniel sends it over to Allie Monroe. Back to Daniel.
Toronto possessing the puck in the neutral zone. Daniel does a nice job just to turn back a couple of times, kill some time on the clock, and then they eventually get that puck down the ice.
Erin Ambrose sending it up now for Abby Boreen. Entered the night leading the Montreal Victoire with 5 points. Had another goal their last time out in a shootout loss against Boston in Seattle.
She's been great this year, Abby Boreen. You know, we've talked a lot about the power play struggles for Montreal. This is not typically the struggle, though. They usually get the puck in and they're able to get set up. We don't often see this.
Penalty has expired. Sarah Nurse had her pocket picked by LaBelle. Hannah Miller able to send it deep to Nurse once more. This time stripped by Wilgren. And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the fact that Toronto has struggled in large part because they're without the league MVP of last year, who was also the leading goal scorer, the leading point getter. Natalie Spooner has meant everything to this Toronto team and has yet to play while she still recovers from ACL surgery last spring.
Well, and they sound hopeful that she'll be back fairly soon. What that means, we're still unsure of. And of course, they're missing Megan Carter as well, who would help shore up that bottom pair, their 5-6 pair. And so that's a couple of really big components to this team.
Kayla Barnes passes it across to Mariah Keppel. Grant Mentis will tip it in and go to the bench for a change. We've got the wave going here at Rogers Arena. Fans treated to 4 goals here so far. Still 5 minutes left here in the second period.
Well, a game that opened wide up early in this period. It's settled down a little bit since.
Toronto has had its looks, but so far only able to cash in once on the power play. Some heavy hits being thrown here. Montreal skates away with it. Jennifer Gardner across now for Barnes, who lost it. Back comes Daryl Watts. Over to Skamura. Skamura off her backhand, tried to go across. It was a 2-on-1, and that blast blocked by Boulin. She does it all. Harmon rings it around the boards over to Skamura. Haley Skamura and Savannah Harmon coming over to Toronto, and a chance right on for Turnbull. Davian saw it all the way.
Emma Malte with a great play, doing the things that she does so well. When she gets in on the forecheck, creates separation, gets this pass to Blair Turnbull for a great shooting opportunity. Just can't solve Davian.
Stop. Look. Listen. You'll always hear us coming, chasing the chaos of the game and the sweet sound of the goal siren. We thrive in big moments on the world's biggest stage, backed by fans who know what it takes to reach great heights. So bring your hopes, dreams, and earplugs and watch us go all in, all the time. We are New York, and this is full volume hockey.
So to have her the face of the game and see her, on the ice, and that's just who you wanted to be, Cammi Granato.
Yeah.
The way she carries herself, the way she plays, the type of teammate she is.
Talking about the great Cammi Granato, Hockey Hall of Famer, current assistant GM of the Vancouver Canucks. Kayla Barnes, an American star. Haley Skamura, an American star as well. I'm sure they also look up to Cammi, and we're so excited to have Cammi, who calls Vancouver home, joining us at the second intermission. I'll speak for myself in saying that as an American, I certainly grew up loving Cammi Granato, so I might be a little starstruck in the second intermission myself. Great feed right in front. Ljungblom couldn't catch up to the pass, and now Daryl Watts gains his own with speed.
You go back to Cammi Granato, you guys looked up to her. I feared her. I had to play her one-on-one and try to take her net front.
That shot, looking for a tip in front from Daryl Watts. It wasn't there, but Sarah Nurse keeps the play alive. Back for Harmon. Cross now for Fast, who tried to go down low for Nurse. Kristen O'Neill says no. Harmon. Banked off the stick of Abby Boreen, creating a turnover, and Boreen to chip it off the boards. Yeah, Cammi has been a trailblazer in just about every sense of the word. First female pro scout in the NHL, now an assistant GM for the Canucks, as we mentioned.
Played in the 90 Worlds, the first ever. Played in the 98 Olympics, the first ever. A lot of firsts, a lot of hockey experience, has some experience in broadcast. She's really done it all in this world.
She has, and still going. So we'll catch up with Cammi at the break and probably get her thoughts as well on what we've been treated to so far in this game. Emma Woods tried the shot, didn't miss by much, but it comes all the way out of the zone. And Lauren Bernard will chase it and catch up to it. Final 3 minutes of the second period. Toronto would love to get another before heading to the room. Get even closer to that initial 3-goal lead that Montreal built. And in case you missed it, Marie-Philippe Poulin had a goal for the ages, and that's saying something for her. Scoring from her knees to make it 3-0. We'll show it to you at the break. Great chance right in front. Debian standing tall as Jessie Comfer was right there on the doorstep. Kaylee Flanagan. These two teams, each eager for a win. Dubois gains his own, takes a shot, and he was kicked out by Campbell. And I believe that is the first shot since Poulin's goal very early in this period. First shot for Montreal since then.
Well, that's important for Toronto. You're looking for your own opportunities, but you can't let that gap get any bigger. Keep it at 3-1. And again, see if you can narrow that. They haven't really been giving up anything offensively, just really the one opportunity where LaBelle got in behind them. But other than that, they've closed the door. Important start for this team, but they've had a lot of zone time and not been able to get their own shots through. And so now I think it's a matter of making sure those shots get through. They've had better traffic in front than we've seen some games.
Shots are 18-14 in favor of Toronto, and again, that isn't always telling the whole story. Remember, they lost their last game 2-1 to Ottawa on New Year's Eve, but they outshot the Charge 38-13. Ambrose tries to send one toward the net. It deflected wide. So Becky, sometimes isn't about the quality of the shots, not just the quantity?
Well, it is. And again, this is a team that'll shoot from anywhere, and they're getting some really good zone time. So it's a matter of trying to get those grade A scoring chances. And I think what they're trying to create right now is just shot from anywhere and get traffic to the net.
Claren Turnbull across from Malte. She sends it in. Skamura took a shove from Marie-Philippe Poulin, and she'll head to the bench.
Troy Ryan had said traffic in front or shots through screens is one of the areas that his team statistically was not doing well. They were 6th in the league, so it looks like it's a point of focus right now.
When you think back to a couple of the chances they've had, they are grade A because they're from high danger areas, but a couple of chances even for Blair Turnbull right on, but there was no screen in front. Debian's too good of a goalie to give up many of those.
Yeah, and some of the times where they've had extended zone time and they're looking really good, this is their opportunity to see if they can get something going. That's where they got to find those grade A's.
Daryl Watts, a goal scorer already, banks it wide and off the end boards. Gets her own rebound. Tried to feed fast, he couldn't handle the pass.
Well, good decision to let that puck go down the ice. They were in the midst of a change.
Ljungboom now battling behind the net. Abby Boreen trying to dig it out as well. Boreen and Nurse jam away. Picked up by Barnes. Barnes spins around. Tried to feed LaBelle. Wilgren picks it up. Final seconds here in the second period. And the horn sounds. It's a 3-1 lead for the Victoire after 2.
On a Toronto team that struggled with offense, so they've dug themselves a little bit of a hole, but it's not insurmountable. We watched Boston do it against Montreal the other night, come back from 2 goals down. So definitely a possibility for this Toronto team. We saw them increase their intensity in that period. We saw them get some really good zone time. Now it's a matter of finding that offensive gear and finishing on those opportunities, finishing when they've got their team back on their heels.
Well, as advertised, we will have Hockey Hall of Famer Cammy Granato joining us here from the booth at the second intermission. We'll also get some players' thoughts and eventually catch up with Montreal head coach Corey Chevry as well. Plenty to come here from the Takeover Tour. Stop number 2 from Rogers Arena in Vancouver, where it's a 3-1 lead for the Victoire.
Welcome back to Rogers Arena. Right now, Toronto is down 3-1 to Montreal after 2 periods. I'm joined alongside Daryl Watts. You scored a power play goal, the only goal right now for Toronto. Tell me what you saw there.
Yeah, their power or penalty kills a little bit passive. So before the game, we were kind of trying to put an emphasis on the flanks shooting, and got the pass from Renata, and they were a little bit passive. So I just tried to get the puck through, and it worked out.
Well, you guys were able to actually get on the board, only down 2 goals now. What do you want to see from your team in the 3rd period?
I think later on in the 2nd period, we're building up some momentum, and in the 3rd, we just have to stay out of the box. I think we're playing well. We're getting a lot of shots, and if we keep playing the way we did in the 2nd, I think, we can tie it up and hopefully win the game.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And coming up next, Cami Granato is going to be joining Becky and Jamie. But first, let's get to Coyne Schofield.
She was like, I watch her sign kids stuff, and I'm like, I remember how much of an impact that had on me. I still have the poster I got from our hockey camp, and it was pre-signed, but me just being crazy, I'm like, wait, I need to see you sign it. Can you sign the other side? Because I just wanted to see her sign it because it was so cool. And I still have that. I still have the jersey from her hockey camp with her signature on her 21 on the back, and I still have it all.
Here's to the bold, the determined. More than athletes, they're icons, warriors, opponents of the status quo. Proving that dreams are realized through dedication and come alive on the ice. This is a call to empower, to unite, and to celebrate the bold in all their glory. It's time to own the ice. Are you ready?
Welcome back to Rogers Arena. Montreal leads Toronto 3-1 after 2 periods on the PW Takeover Tour right here in Vancouver. And, well, as you know, Cami Granato really inspired a lot of these young players in the PWHL. 2 of them, Hilary Knight and Coyne Schofield. Let's get you to Kendall for more on that.
That summer after the 1998 Olympics, Cami hosted a hockey camp not too far from my hometown. My parents signed me up for it. I had no idea what I was getting into. I was excited I got to play hockey in the summer.
Yeah.
And went to her hockey camp, and there were over 100 girls there. And it just like walking into that moment was like all these people that said like girls don't play hockey or girls shouldn't play hockey, or the people who went up to my parents and said, why are you making her play this sport? Like, go sign her up for sports that girls play. This isn't one of them. And there were, you know, I was still young. I was only 7, so it wasn't too much negativity, but there was enough of it for it, you know, for me to understand it. And then I walk into there and just see 100 girls, see Cami Granado, and I feel like I remember everything, like her hockey bag, her red, white, and blue Nike gloves, her Nike skates. She had her USA Hockey bag and the tracksuit, and some of her Olympic teammates were there as well. And, just so many vivid memories. And then at the end of the camp, we got to hold her gold medal, and that's when I turned to my parents and said, I want to go to the Olympics. And you know, my parents, okay, that's cute. You know, like, sounds good. Like, what a great experience. I think for my parents, it was providing me with the opportunity to like see other girls and see women who played hockey, because other than those Olympic Games in 1998, you didn't see girls and women in the sport where I was at that time. And so that was such a pivotal moment. And we took our family Christmas card, and my mom, we all had like American flag shirts on, and I was sticking my tongue out in the photo, and I still regret it to this day. And my mom's like, I tried to get you, but I let you do it. And I'm like, oh man. It's like one of my favorite photos. I have it on my desk back home, and it's all of my siblings and I. And
that is so good. So
it was just like a very, very special moment. And from that point on, and as I started to like get older and grow in the sport, Cami has become such not only is she an icon of the sport, but she's been just such a role model and just source of inspiration. And anytime, whether I have a question or need someone to lean on, like, she's always willing to answer the phone. And
now let's get you to Cami Granado with Jamie and Becky.
Yeah, and I mentioned this earlier, but I'm a bit starstruck myself as an American as well. I grew up watching Cami play and win the gold medal too. What a full circle moment for Kendall Coyne-Schofield to go to your camp, hold the gold medal, and then of course captain Team America to a gold medal herself. What has it been like for you to hear the stories from these women who are now professionals and gold medalists themselves, to talk about what you've meant to them?
It's amazing, because when we were doing it, I mean, we were just forging a new path. We didn't understand what was behind us. And when she talked about that day where she was at our camp, we had 8 Olympians there. We'd all won the gold together, and we had 100 girls in the rink, which was unprecedented in the Chicago area or even in the States, because before that, if you carried your bag in the hockey rink, they thought you were carrying your brother's bag. Like, nobody really thought women could play hockey. Nobody knew women played hockey. And here we are with 100 girls from across the country at this one arena, and it was magical, honestly. And I'm so proud of all the girls. But Kendall and Hillary both were at that camp, and I have such a great relationship with both of them. And it's just been so great to see how successful and how much they've grown the game and what level that they've brought it to. So it's all great.
Yeah.
When we look at the first season of the PWHL, and it feels like a lot of things have been a first, and you talk about forging a new path, but you were at the 1990 World Championships. And for me, I was that kid watching that event. And so I wonder if you can go back and talk a little bit about what that was like and the experience.
That experience was like, it kind of blew our minds, because we were playing in front of like family and friends before, like 20 people in the arena. We go to Ottawa, packed stadium, loud, and I was like, where are we? We've been transported. And I always was jealous of my brothers, honestly, because they had the opportunity to go further. They had an opportunity to play in front of crowds. They had a path for them. And I was just like them. I wanted what they wanted too. And to be at that tournament, we were losing at the end of the game, and the whole crowd was singing "Na Na Na Na," and I remember thinking, this is really cool. Even though we were losing, like, honestly, the rivalry was a little bit started there, but it was just like, this is a magnificent moment for women's hockey.
Yeah.
And I never thought that we could play in front of crowds like that. And every time we were in Canada, we played in big crowds after that. So it was great.
Skip ahead now several years later, and there is a first of its kind, true best on best sustainable professional women's hockey league. something that you might not have even had the idea to dream of, because it was so foreign probably at the time to think of something like this being a reality. So to see it, especially in the town now that you call home, to see a packed arena that is usually meant for a men's game, all these people cheering for the women, what does this mean to you?
Well, you feel it in the arena tonight, like just the energy. I was so excited that they were coming here. I mean, I never thought I would see it in my lifetime. I really didn't. It's just amazing. It's just amazing to see, and amazing to like the quality and just the way that it's being received, and the people that are here in Vancouver on the West Coast giving a lot of love. And so, yeah, I mean, it's something that I dreamed about. And I didn't have, I wanted to play in the NHL because that's the league that I followed.
Right.
And it was really devastating when I realized I couldn't because I was a girl. And now girls don't have to have that problem anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, if you see it, you can be it, like Billie Jean said. So it's pretty exciting.
So I'm going to put you on the spot for a second. Now, you grew up in the States, NCAA, but you also played at Concordia University in Canada, and now you're living in Vancouver. So who do you cheer for in this league?
I said yesterday, we were talking as a group, I cheer for the league. I want the league right now. It's just so exciting. I mean, obviously, Kendall and Hillary, I have a soft spot for, and some of the other U.S. players, but I cheer for the league, right? We just want it to succeed, and it's incredible right now, the momentum.
Well, it's so great to see you here, and you know, there's talks of possible expansion. I know Vancouver would love to have a PWHL team down the road, so we'll see how it all plays out. But thank you so much for the time and for all the work that you continue to do for the game.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, when we come back, we will get ready to drop the puck on the third period. Toronto trying to inch their way closer to Montreal's lead that they have built so far.
Started, finger on trigger with aim on a target. I'm shooting my shot, yeah. It's right on no money, no discount, no bargain. Hearing them calling, the clock is ticking, we cannot be stalling. We pulling up harder, and one shot, one chance. I gotta go all. You know what it is, I gotta get it. You know what it is, I'm gonna win it. You know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it is, I gotta get it. You know what it is, we gotta win it. You know what it is. You know what it is. Game time, check, game time, we game time, check, game time, we on. Gotta stay up, way up. It's caught back when a rematch. First time won't be last. It's the beginning, we just got started. 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 It's the beginning, we just got. It's the beginning, we just got started.
Where the Montreal Victoire have a 3-1 lead. Let's hear from the Victoire's head coach, Corey Chevry. She's with Chantel.
Coach, your squad has a 2-goal lead heading into the third period. How do you hold on to that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to change our game plan. We need to attack and stay ready, and we need to put pucks into good places, and I think we'll have some success.
Toronto was able to get on the board in the second period. Obviously, you don't want them to pick up any more momentum. How do you try to contain that in the third?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of resetting and getting back to our game plan. We know that Toronto's opportunistic, so you know, we just have to stick to managing pucks and getting on the attack as quickly as possible.
Good luck in the third.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, she'd like to see them stick to their game plan. Remember, they had a 2-0 lead in their previous game against Boston, let it slip away. Corey Chevry telling us before this game that she felt like they lost track of some of those details that they pride themselves on, and that was the reason for the shootout loss. Right now, those details are looking pretty solid, although Toronto has had its chances, Becky.
They have, especially early on in the second period. They like the way they played, and I would agree with that. Toronto had a good second.
Montreal is the stingiest defensive team, though, in the league. A quick shot that sailed over the top of the cage. And a good start for Blair Turnbull and company. Turnbull gets it back below the goal line. Tried the wraparound, and it skipped up and over the top of the net once more.
What effort,
right.
comfort to bring that puck back in the zone.
Toronto's going to need to bring its A game to get back into this game. This has not been the start to the season that they envisioned after taking the #1 seed in the regular season last year, thanks to an 11-game win streak midway through the season.
Well, and they had a good start in game 1, and it looked like the team that had ended the season. Strong, solid, outplayed Boston, got the win, and it's been a bit of a downhill since then.
Toronto trying to game the zone once more. Daryl Watts hands it off to Sarah Nurse. Nurse has it on her back and just flings one toward the net. Debian had it sealed off.
Well, and that's a good start to the third period for Toronto. They've had a couple of opportunities, and Blair Turnbull with one with the wraparound. Jesse Comfer on the bench, and some great effort, and part of the reason that the puck is still down in their zone as she comes back. What a great effort, back check, body position, throws that puck back into the zone. Those are the little things you need. You want to score goals, it starts with that.
Montreal wins the draw. Tabin hands it over to Shelbin. Emma Woods sends it deep once more for the Sceptres. Cut off by Gosling. Gosling looking for a deflection. Instead, it hit LaBelle. And now Grant Mentis is in all alone. Couldn't quite catch up to it in time. It was Kaylee Flanagan racing back for Toronto. Centering pass right in front. LaBelle not able to get a clean shot off. Toronto skates away with it. Emma Woods over to Gosling. Gosling missed the net, but not by much. Comes all the way back deep into the Toronto zone, and they'll reload.
Well, Toronto's had Montreal on their heels, except for when the Grant Mentis line gets out there. And it's such a funny thing to say. The third line is not normally the line you worry about.
Right.
And yet she has had all sorts of opportunities. Of course, she had the goal, but she recognizes that the puck has turned over, and she beelines north fast. Montreal just flips that puck out to her to give her another scoring chance. She just can't quite handle it.
Grant Mentis with a goal and an assist already tonight. Bringing her total to 5 points now on the young season. Poulin wins the draw back for Stacey. Hit Gardner on the way. Anna Wilgren will send it deep for Poulin, rings it around for Stacey. Disrupted by Bernard, and Toronto able to break out. Here's Blair Turnbull, gaining speed through the neutral zone, had it taken away by Gardner. What a heck of a play defensively by the forward.
Fantastic play. Again, that's the effort areas.
Poulin off the end boards. Stacey right there. Poulin gets it back. Over to Stacey. She'll drop. As Ambrose slides it across her. Keppel, a deflection that just went high.
That's Poulin and Dara Gregg both going to the net to get that flash screen and a stick on that puck.
Dara Gregg tried another shot. It was blocked by Allie Monroe. Good forecheck for the Victoire here. Claire DeGeorge had it taken away. Monroe brings it around the boards now to Flanagan. We mentioned that collective defensive effort that the Victoire have enjoyed. They've allowed the fewest goals against in the league to this point. Even including tonight's 1 goal by Toronto, only 18 goals against so far this season. Harmon has her shot deflect wide of the net.
On a real source of pride for this team, and you can see in some of the little things they do, like that back check.
Rylan McKinnon, another local girl, Haven't mentioned her yet, but she is a proud BC native. Also played at UBC, and that shot right on. Haley Skamura thought she could beat Debian, and the Victoire goalie stood tall.
Daryl Watts with a beautiful pass to hit Skamura, and she's wide open in the slot. And we just talked about Montreal and their defensive play, but they leave her wide open. That's a great deceptive play. Just a quick turn back, finds Skamura. Nice place. Johnny on the spot, hits her right in the tape. Debian's able to make that save. You watch Daryl Watts, and she's so patient with the puck. She doesn't force play. She doesn't shoot it into shin pad. She takes her time, uses that edge work, tight turn back, and then she finds the right play.
Allie Monroe tries to stretch the ice a bit for Maggie Connors. And now Izzy Daniel gains the zone for Toronto. Neubauerova trying to make something happen as the Sceptres are looking to get back into this game. They did get the one goal, a power play goal from Daryl Watts. But they'll need to keep at it here as the third period is just about 5 minutes gone.
It's just a matter of continuing the way they're playing. And again, the coaches always talk about the process and the details in the game. And you want to get this come from behind win. You want to start to get your offense ignited. I like some of the little things that they've been doing.
It's all about trusting the process, right? If you keep doing what you think is going to work eventually, you're going to have success, right? The hockey gods will listen eventually.
Well, you would certainly hope so. Sometimes when you're losing, though, that's when you're most likely to get into bad habits and try to do too much.
Hannah Miller gains the zone in with speed, charging toward the net. Debian looked like she got her stick on it, just maybe the handle of it.
Well, that's a nice pass, and Hannah Miller using her assets, which is her size, her strength, her speed, and her shot to drive that puck into the zone and get that shot off.
Julia Gosling rings it around the boards up high for Flanagan. Over to Monroe. Gosling on the forecheck, trying to keep this play alive. Flanagan tried to send it deep once more, hit off a body. She gets it back, walking in, just wide of the net. Kayla Barnes trying to settle things down now for Montreal. She'll lead the charge up ice. Flips it through the neutral zone off her backhand. But right back come the Sceptres. Here's Jennifer Gardner, and her shot right on. Another chance in front as they crash the net, and it comes loose. Look out.
Well, Jennifer Gardner rips this shot. We've seen this from her before. And puck just bounces off her stick. I don't think Campbell expected that as it hit her in the chest and bounced out front. Caused a little bit of chaos down low. There's that shot. That's a beauty shot. Montreal gets in on the hunt, but they're denied. Kristen Campbell stays tall.
They're going to put the net back on its moorings. I'm sure Campbell probably a bit shaken up by that. You're right. She looked like she had to fight it off with her shoulder.
I don't think she expected it to get up that quick and that hard.
Abby Boreen now from the slot. It deflects high and out of play.
Well, Boreen's not happy with that, but Toronto just gets a stick on that. That's a nice face-off win, and she's walking right into the middle to release that shot.
Still a 3-1 lead for the Victoire. Chances at both sides of the ice. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the land of 10,000 rinks, where we embrace winter's freeze. And when the puck drops, we come alive. But don't be fooled by the grace of our game. This chill molds champions with an icy resolve.
For some, this cold is something to fear. For us, it ignites our passion. We invite you on our ice. Just don't expect a warm reception.
This broadcast and its content are copyrighted by PWHL Holdings LLC for the private use of our audience. All rights reserved. Any other use or reproduction of this broadcast without the consent of PWHL Holdings LLC is prohibited.
New episodes of Jocks and Jills with Tessa and Julia are available every Tuesday and Friday, so listen wherever you get your podcasts and follow them across social media at Jocks and Jills. Jocks and Jills, the official podcast of the PWHL. The latest episode featuring Jessica Campbell, who we were so happy to get to catch up with. Poulin, chaos in front. Campbell had to kick it out. Jared Gregg trying to keep it alive now for the Victoire. Mariah Keppel had to deflect off her now to fast. It's a 2-on-1 at the Sceptres. Hurry. Here comes Jessie Comfer. Comfer has Malte with her. She scores! Jessie Comfer has just cut the lead to a 1-goal deficit.
Another beautiful goal, and Jessie Comfer's coming down on a 2-on-1 with Emma Malte. Malte drives the net hard, and she does just enough to take Debian's eyes, pull her off the post just a little bit, and open up this shot lane. Comfer with some really good patience. She's looking to make this pass. So as a goaltender, you're reading that puck's coming across. So you're thinking pass across. Of course, Malte is driving the net hard. That opens up that glove side, and Comfer puts it in. And Toronto continues to chip away.
And we've said that really all game, that Toronto has shown that they can be dangerous if they just put it all together. And now they are right back in this game, trailing by just 1 with 13 minutes to go.
Well, this is what we saw from them last year when they were losing games.
Another chance right on and into the glove. Kaylee Flanagan had a great look, and Debian snaps it up.
On another great chance for Toronto, but last year when they were struggling, we would see this. We would see them outplay and dominate teams at times. Here's another chance for Toronto. They score the goal, they come right back down. Flanagan gets herself open, she jumps in nice and low, so she's available for that puck. So the D are activating, getting involved in the offense. Debian gets a glove on that.
Well, here's the troubling fact if you're a Victoire fan. Montreal has 3 shots in the last 20-plus minutes. So if you keep playing with fire, it might come back to burn you.
Well, and that's just it. And they had a good first. In the first period, a little bit advantage Montreal, but it's definitely been Toronto's game since.
Jessie Comfer still getting a healthy cheer from this Canadian crowd, despite the fact that she is an American player and actually played in this building the last time women's hockey was here. That was back in 2020. Jessie Comfer representing the American team that ended up winning that rivalry series game 3-1.
And it was Haley Scamora with the game-winning goal. A number of the players on the ice today that were in that game and in that series. And one of the last series of games before everything shut down for COVID, they lost their World Championships that season.
And a special game for both of these head coaches as well. Julia Gosling tried the shot. It was blocked on the way. Sends it up for Renata Fast. Over to Harmon. Gosling again on the doorstep, fought off by Debian. Now Harmon looking for a tip. It was there, but Woods tips it just wide of the net.
Emma Woods doing a nice job in front to get in front of the eyes, get that stick free.
Emma Woods tried to set it down low to flex up and out of play. Let's go back to that 2020 game, though, because it was fun asking both coaches about it. Troy Ryan said he had actually just taken over the Canadian national team as head coach. Corey Chevry said that this game in Vancouver was her first game as a member of that coaching staff. She was an assistant, and she said she was a bit starstruck, so it's hard for her even to remember what happened.
Well, especially when she talks about watching the 2010 Olympic Games. She was a kid, she was watching it on TV, and so then she's in this rink just a few short years later as a coach. And the familiarity between the coaches, you think about that with the players and who's played with who during college days, international, but the coaches as well.
Malte wins it back to Harmon. Claire Turnbull sends it deep for Comfer. Toronto putting on a passing clinic here lately. Harmon looking for a tip right in front. It bounced just wide. Comfer again tried the short side. Looking to center now, and Davian has seen enough.
Toronto really controlling the play in the zone, and you can count the number of times they've gone up between Harmon and Fast. Up, D to D, over, look for the shot, traffic, back up to the top. So they're really using that high to low option well. You go back to that game, it was Haley Scamora. There it is, the game winner.
Oh.
Canada versus the US in this building, 2020. Of course, she's back here on the ice. She had a goal and an assist in that game.
I don't quite dare start chanting USA, USA, because I know
who's
I know
standing
my
beside
audience,
you.
and I know who's standing beside me and all around me in this building. I may just be the lone American, but that's okay. We're all friends now. That's what's so great about this league is you have that intense rivalry that has now turned opponents into teammates.
Well, not just Canada, US. You look at the number of international players in the league right now.
So many. Haley Scamora now gains the zone. Glove down by Sarah Nurse. Had to deflect off Kayla Barnes. Kayla Barnes looking to turn it up the other way for Montreal. Finding Grant Mentis. A goal and assist for her already. Grant Mentis stops up, takes a shot, looking for a deflection in front. And Campbell denies LaBelle.
Well, I like that play. Grant Mentis through the neutral zone once again. She gets herself open, gets the puck, comes into the offensive zone, and just hesitates a little bit so that you can find that opening.
Well, all new PWHL gear is here for you to rep your favorite team in style. PWHL Bauer replica jerseys are back in stock, and you can unlock free shipping on all orders over $150 US or $200 Canadian. Visit shop.thepwhl.com today. Nearing the midway point of this third period, and Toronto has just continued to push. Shots are 26-18 in favor of the Sceptres, who stared down a 3-0 deficit and have now made it 3-2. DeGeorge trying to stretch the ice for Dubois. Dubois in all alone, working in, stops up, takes a shot, pad save Campbell. Getting it back is Dara Gregg. Now that fourth line for Montreal putting on the pressure.
Dubois, we've seen that. We saw that last year at times too. She could be a powerful offensive force. She's a big player, big body, got a good shot. That was a nice patient cut to the middle to give herself that chance.
DeGeorge still working, try to get the puck to come free. Renata Fast picks it up. Anna Wilgren stops up behind her own net, bothered by Emma Woods on the forecheck, creates a turnover. Stacy gets it back. Cut off by Allie Monroe, who was looking for a tip in front. Emma Malte bumped off the puck by Poulin. Banks off the end boards. Kayla Barnes will scoop it up. Montreal looking to bounce back from a shootout loss that snapped a 4-game winning streak prior to that. Flanagan had Comfer in front, she tipped it, and another chance for Jessie Comfer.
Well, that's just some outstanding work along the wall for Toronto, winning those wall battles, board battles, and then getting the puck to the middle of the ice.
Chances on both ends. We will step aside momentarily. Look out for the Sceptres, here they come.
Troy Ryan and his team looking to stage a comeback. It hasn't been an easy task for them over the last 2 seasons, especially when they were trailing by 2. Of course, they started this game, they were trailing by 3. Haven't been able to come back when they're down by that much. Even by 1 goal, it's been a struggle. We'll see what they can do here tonight.
Looking to make some history in that respect, I guess. And with the way they've been playing, I would not be surprised if they're able to tie this thing up.
Well, it has been a season of firsts. I feel like every game there's been some sort of a first.
So true. Montreal's already had 2 shootouts so far early in this season.
Shootout and the overtime. Of course, the overtime win was against Toronto.
Yeah, and Laura Stacey. How many seconds was it? 15?
It was 15 seconds in.
Sarah Watts has Sarah Nurse streaking toward the net. Watts got the shot off, and it was blocked by Keppel. Nurse gets it back. Going cross ice now for Harmon. Harmon over to Fast. Fast. With a lane over to Watts, right on! And Davienne's there to make the save. 7.5 to go here in the 3rd period.
Nifty little play there. They didn't quite connect between Renata Fast and Daryl Watts.
In case you're just joining us, Montreal jumped out to a 3-0 lead early in the 2nd period on a brilliant goal from Marie-Philippe Poulin. But Toronto has chipped away, and now Claire Dalton looking to answer. Banks it off the end boards. Victoire has been Dalton with a great chance, and how about Kristen Campbell?
Well, Toronto comes back into the zone on a heavy back check, and they're coming back hard, but they over back check, and you could see this one playing out. And Dalton just left herself wide open in front, and all the Toronto jerseys coming in low. You can count them all right there, 4 of them, all in the corner. Dalton just hangs out front of the net, and Kayla Barnes throws that pass out to her.
Oh my, Kristen Campbell, welcome back to the net. A bouncing puck, another pad save for Campbell.
That's a tough save to make too. She had to change directions quickly.
Started to go down into the butterfly, got right back up, fought it off with the pad. She's been excellent when she's needed to be. And another chance right in front. Marie-Philippe Poulin on the doorstep. Unable to find the loose puck. They'll sling it up high. Anna Wilgren. And now Stacey looking to make something happen. Poulin fighting for possession. Able to hold his own momentarily, but now Comfer tried to spring Emma Malte. Both sides will go for a change, but first we get a whistle.
Turnbull looked to dump that puck in, and it hit the glass awkwardly at the bench. Officials must have deemed that that one went out, and so they blew this one down. That's the first little bit of zone time that Montreal has had in this period. There's Turnbull, throws that puck up onto the bench, bounce out at an awkward angle. The referees blow it down.
Now is as good a time as any to announce our official attendance tonight. You got any guesses, Becky?
Well, since I just saw the paper in your hand, I cheated a little.
Busted.
Over 19,000.
We had heard it was close to a sellout, and folks, I think this certainly qualifies. The official attendance here at Rogers Arena in Vancouver, 19,038 hockey fans singing along, having a great time, young and old alike, boys and girls alike. Everyone watches women's sports, and this is proof. Vancouver showing out for women's hockey. And what a game so far.
It has been a fantastic game, and of course we've seen in the stands as well Sceptres jerseys and Victoire jerseys, and the Sceptres are making a game of this.
They certainly are. Just keep coming. Montreal trying to lock it down and prevent another comeback. Abby Boreen, who scored in the first meeting against Toronto and also scored this past Sunday. She'll try to bring some more life back to the Victoire, who started this game so strong. We shall see what the final 5 minutes and change has in store. Don't go anywhere. It's a 1-goal lead for the Victoire from Rogers Arena. Welcome back. Marie-Philippe Poulin and the Montreal Victoire continue on the PWHL Takeover Tour, taking on Kendall Coyne-Schofield and the Minnesota Frost at Ball Arena in Denver. Tune in on Sunday, January 12th at 3 p.m. Eastern, 1 Mountain Time. And don't miss a minute of the action. You can learn more about other stops on this 9-city Takeover Tour at thepwhl.com/tickets. What a swing for Montreal, right? The first 3 stops of the Takeover Tour, they get to play in all of them. Certainly winning those stops would help make it even more fun.
Oh, for Montreal trying to close out one of these big arena games, they have not done that yet.
Yeah, Toronto has had the Victoire's number overall. We mentioned Montreal did win the first meeting between these two. But last year, Toronto won all 5.
They did, and a few of them in those NHL rinks, Scotiabank Arena.
Daryl Watts cutting in, takes a shot, and somehow it just trickled wide. Desbiens with the save.
Daryl Watts has had a lot of chances, just piggybacking off of the game that she had against Ottawa. She's been good.
Emma Malte gains the zone, has Monroe with her. Monroe tried to set it for Malte. Short side sealed off by Desbiens.
Once again, Toronto pouring on the pressure, getting some chances. Malte, who's had an excellent game. And there's another player that we had talked about and what she brought to this team last year. Tied with rookie lead in points. Again, Daryl Watts coming in, and she's got that great release where she gets her head up, she can hesitate, she reads the lane, and she finds the lane to the net.
Speaking of points, how about Renata Fast? 2 assists tonight, brings her total to 8 assists now. She's second only in the league to Claire Thompson of the Frost. And her 8 points are tied for 4th in the entire league.
Oh, it's an impressive start for her, and just quietly finding ways to get on the score sheet. Quite often, it's her on the blue line, finding lanes, getting pucks in, keeping pucks in. Great start for her offensively.
Well, you know who she says she's modeled her game after, right? Do you know?
No.
Cheryl Pounder and Becky Keller.
Well, she didn't model her game after us because we never did that, but she did come to our hockey school.
She says she modeled her grit after Pounder and Keller. So there you go.
That part I'll give you.
That part makes more sense?
That part makes more sense.
2-time Olympian and a 3-time world champion in her own right. Renata Fast is a superstar in this game, as is her new D partner, Savannah Harmon.
familiarity with those two playing at college, and Haley Skamura as well. They played their junior hockey together in Burlington, so and the hockey world is small.
A blast from distance. Maureen Murphy put it right on net. Couldn't fool Campbell.
And Murphy just taking a page out of Toronto's book and firing that puck from anywhere. Once again, that's a good shot. Any shot's a good shot, especially when you're struggling to get any amount of zone time. She just turns and blasts. And Campbell's got to be sharp to see this one through a little bit of traffic and glove it down.
They're blasting Living on a Prayer here in the building, and I think that's what Toronto is doing right now. Living on a prayer they can get back and tie this game. That shot steered aside. A grade A chancer, Dalton! Stick save, Campbell. Sarah Nurse taken down by LaBelle, no call.
Let's go.
Banks off the boards, and Skamura will lead the rush the other direction. Daryl Watts.
Toronto with a couple of turnovers on that shift. Montreal hasn't had a lot this period. They're going to manage that puck coming out of their zone just a little bit better.
We'll keep an eye on Campbell as we are now under 3 minutes to go here in the final frame. Claire DeGeorge will flip it in. Campbell calmly steers it aside to her teammate Kaylee Flanagan. Emma Malte looking up ice for Comfort. Comfort flings it in off her backhand. Back and forth we go. Renata Fast holding the zone for the Sceptres momentarily. Jennifer Gardner, BC native. Trying to make sure that Toronto doesn't get any ideas about tying this.
Toronto takes that puck back into their zone deep when they probably could have transitioned it quickly. They need to get that puck into the offensive zone to get the goalie out.
A chance here. Youngbloom couldn't quite handle the bouncing puck, but a pretty good shift so far here for the Victoire. Renata Fast breaks it free, picks up the loose puck and leads the rush. D to D, Fast working in, has Malte with her. Fast right on, save by Desbiens.
Well, Desbiens wanted that puck and she opts to take this whistle. Just a minute and a half left. This is a good whistle for Toronto, though. Again, gives them opportunity. Now Kristen Campbell is out of the net. They can get the players that they want out. Would be surprised even they call a timeout here.
Well, the players are heading to the bench, but to this point, it does not look, oh, yep, there he goes. Troy Ryan asking for the timeout. We'll see what he draws up here.
An assistant coach, Jimmy Midgley, who tends to do the 6-on-5s and the power plays, and so he's going to draw something out to see if he can get something going off this face-off. And a big part of this is you're drawing up what you want to accomplish, but also what you're going to do if you lose so that you can recover and get the puck back. Of course, same thing for Montreal. They're drawing up same thing, both sides of it. What happens if you lose? What happens if we win?
Right. Yes, this is a big game for Toronto. Every game at this point is, because they sit last right now in the standings with just 7 points through their 7 games played. And coming up next, this is technically a home game, but we're very far from Toronto, so the road trip will continue. They're at New York on Sunday, followed by a trip to Ottawa, and then at Boston.
You talk about only being 7 games in, but with a 30-game schedule, you're starting to get deep into this season.
Sarah Nurse on to take the draw. She wins it back to Fast. Fast has Watts. Fast looking for a deflection, and it just tips wide. Jessie Comfer settles it down, slings it over to Fast. Fast down low to Watts. Watts from the goal line. Tried a sharp angle shot. It was blocked by Ambrose. Net still empty for the Sceptres. And a good defensive effort by Renata Fast to make sure that puck did not go toward the empty cage. Here's Poulin with the empty net. It's in! Of course, it It's the captain. Not one, but 2 goals here tonight.
Well, Marie-Philippe Poulin just standing in the middle of the ice. Toronto on that last part of the shift, struggling to really gain possession of the puck and get themselves in a position where they've got time and space with it. They throw the puck to the middle of the ice. Poulin is just waiting for that puck, picks it off, steps and fires and puts the puck into the empty cage. That'll chase Kristen Campbell back into her net. Give Montreal that cushion that they need.
Unassisted. But what a show that the captain put on tonight. Montreal went a bit quiet after Poulin's first goal, which, by the way, if you somehow missed it, please go back and watch because it was a beauty. Poulin scoring from her knees to give them a 3-0 lead and then to seal the deal with the empty netter. Montreal will win its 5th game in its last 6. That one loss coming by way of a shootout on Sunday. And remember, a regulation win is worth more than an overtime win, and so Montreal will take over sole possession of first place. Minnesota did win earlier tonight, but they needed an overtime period to do it, so they get just the 2 points.
This is back to the drawing board for Toronto. Now, the one thing I will say is during all of these losses, they had not been playing well. I thought the game against Ottawa, they were fantastic. They just couldn't score. Tonight, I thought after the first period, they were the better team. And so they're trending in the right direction. You see this sometimes when teams are slumping, that they start to have good games before they actually pull themselves out of the slump. I think Toronto is on the verge of being able to do that. But again, trending in the right direction, playing better hockey, better details to their game.
What a performance for Marie-Philippe Poulin and the Montreal Victoire, who come into Toronto and take over in style. Poulin's 4th goal of the season puts her 2nd in the league, only to Alex Carpenter of the New York Sirens. The hockey fans won this game tonight, getting treated to an incredible effort by both sides, competitive throughout, and a crowd of more than 19,000 here to witness the PWHL in all its glory. The best part about this game, too, to me, is that with every game, is this handshake line we see after. The mutual respect they had for one another. And as we saw in Seattle, I'm guessing they will come together for one group photo at center ice.
Well, and they put on a great show, and I think that's really what it's about. And you look at these fans, and we were trying to figure out who they were cheering for, and what they were cheering for was great hockey. They put on a great show. You see 6 goals, and you come to a hockey game, you want to see people score, and you want to see Marie-Philippe Poulin score. She went, and this isn't a lot, but she went 2 games without a point, so you knew she was due, and she comes up big here tonight. So I got to think all of these little girls and boys that came in their hockey jerseys are leaving pretty happy.
Absolutely. Yeah, they saw another national team star run out of fast with a couple of points in a losing effort. They saw Debian make a couple of great saves.
Well, and if we can revert back again to 2010, Poulin with the 2 goals then, the 2 goals tonight.
How appropriate. Vancouver, where it all began for Marie-Philippe Poulin in terms of glory on the national stage and international stage. It continues tonight.
And a great hockey city. And we've seen that, the rivalry tour, 2020, obviously the Olympics, and then here tonight, Vancouver really showed up.
What a start to the takeover tour. 9 different cities across North America getting to experience the magic of the PWHL. Montreal takes it 4-2, your final. Stick taps all around for this great crowd at Rogers Arena as Montreal has defeated Toronto by a final score of 4-2. Welcome back to the Takeover Tour Part 2 from Rogers Arena in downtown Vancouver. This one started out with Michaela Grant-Mentis staying red hot. Her second of the season made it 1-0 Victoire.
Well, then it was Claire Dalton that got on the board, and it was Montreal, and all Montreal early in this game. Dalton comes up big, beautiful little head shoulder check from Michaela Grant-Mentis, feeds this one out. Grant-Mentis, what a game that she had. She gets back on the board with an assist, sitting a goal and an assist early in this game. Montreal makes it 3-0 on the highlight reel goal of the season. Marie-Philippe Poulin from her knees makes the initial pass, gets herself back in the play,
top corner,
and fires top shelf. Now Toronto, they made a game of it though. They didn't roll over easily, and they come back in this one. Daryl Watts, what a beauty to beat Desbiens and make it 3-1. Holds, pulls, and fires. She needed to get on the board, and she did in the third period. Toronto comes out absolutely flying. It's Jessie Comfort 2-on-1 with Emma Malte. Looks, nope, I'm gonna shoot. And she snipes this one over the glove. Toronto back in this game. They did everything they could. They pushed, but they couldn't quite make Montreal break. Poulin with the empty netter and the win.
And that'll do it, a final score of 4-2. Let's hear from Captain Canada, Marie-Philippe Poulin with Chantel.
Marie, I don't know what it is about playing in Vancouver, but it seems like you love to play here. 2 goals in for you in this one. Tell me about the emotions that are running through your mind, seeing all these fans give you a standing ovation.
Yeah, honestly, when I jumped on that ice for warm-up, it was quite special. I think there was quite memories coming back into my head and my heart, honestly, but it's very special to play across Canada in any city. We're able to just reach out to such a community. You know, honestly, to see these fans coming out and supporting us, it's been unbelievable, and really happy to be back in Vancouver.
Now, we have to talk about the goal you scored on your knees, which was absolutely amazing. What did you see there?
Honestly, I'm not sure. It was a great play with Ambrose. She got that shot, and I got that rebound, and honestly, lucky it went in. But I think it was a whole team effort tonight, honestly. We started to play physical right in the first period. We kind of let back a little bit in the second, but really happy with the victory here.
Yeah, and you know, you guys lost to Boston in a shootout on Sunday in Seattle. This is the second stop in the Takeover Tour. Toronto made it interesting. You guys got it done. What type of resilience does this team have?
Yeah, we do. I think we know it's not going to be easy, honestly. There's 6 amazing teams in this league, and every night is a battle, and we knew they were going to come back, honestly. Even if you're ahead 2, 3, 4, it's never over until it's over, and we're just able to get it done and really happy.
Now, I want to ask you about the Takeover Tour here in Vancouver, your experience, and just, you know, a couple of your favorite things that you experienced.
Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing. Obviously, first tour that we have the chance to do as a whole team here, and we're starting in Seattle, be able to visit a different city, come to Vancouver, and finish in Denver. Honestly, it's been great. We're just enjoying the moment, and obviously, we're here for business.
Congrats on the win, and once again, you showed out in Vancouver. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Jamie, Becky.
And the Takeover Tour will continue for Montreal. Their next stop at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado, where it'll really be a battle for first place between the Victoire and the Frost. Do not miss that one at 3 p.m. Eastern this Sunday. Toronto will send themselves over to New York. That game happening next Wednesday from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. But what a game here, and what a crowd. More than 19,000 hockey fans coming out to see the Takeover Tour on the West Coast. Michaela Grant-Mentis with 2 points. Marie-Philippe Poulin with 2 goals. And a 2-goal win, 4-2 that is, for the Montreal Victoire over the Toronto Sceptres. For Becky Keller, Chantel Shand, and our entire fantastic crew, I'm Jamie Hirsch saying thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.